right, well, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Grind. I am your host, Sherrod Schuler, and I'm so excited once again to bring another fascinating conversation about health and wellness. Now, I'm not an expert about health and wellness, so I had to bring in some people and some individuals that could really share what health and wellness is all about. And this next guest, or this guest that I'm going to introduce you to today, is definitely about the grind when it comes to health and wellness. And so today I want to introduce you to Jody Trierwelder. I said it wrong. I messed up. How are you doing, Jody?
Hey, Sherrod, I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be here and talk with you. This is great.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know your schedule is pretty busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time. But this is a much needed conversation right now. You know, there's a lot going on, with the pandemic, of course. And of course, we've been doing this for quite a while. But we want to get to some topics of talking about health and wellness and really how to navigate through that. But before we do, let's introduce the audience a little bit and tell them a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your story.
Sure. So I went to Eastern Michigan on a cheerleading scholarship. So I was always athletic and moving around and busy. And I decided to get my degree in sports medicine. And specifically in exercise science, which kind of sounds silly and made up, but it's a real thing. I know exercise science, isn't that crazy? So ever since I graduated from college, I've always been fascinated with exercise and moving your body. And, my journey kind of took me like this. I ended up getting into pharmaceutical sales because it paid really well. But then I got very, very sick with my second pregnancy, and I actually had to quit my job. I was on bed rest. And after being so ill, I kind of rehabilitated myself, and I realized how it felt like I couldn't even walk up a set of stairs without holding on. Oh yeah, I was very, very ill. Okay. And it gave me a whole appreciation maybe for those people who might be so obese they can't even go up a flight of stairs. And it really rekindled my love for fitness. And I went back in head first to the fitness industry. And I became a certified personal trainer, fitness instructor, certified nutritional consultant. I ended up becoming the fitness expert for Live in the D on Channel 4, which I have been now going on my 6th year there. And then I hosted 3 seasons of a show called Jody's Fit Life on Comcast, which it aired in Michigan and Indiana. So if you are an Xfinity customer, I think you can say into your remote Jody's Fit Life. It's Jody with a Y, and you can see all my old episodes on there. So I've just really been involved in this health fitness world almost my whole life, really. And awesome. It's been rekindled and the fire is lit under me, but now I actually have a full-time job selling nutritional supplements on top of all the fitness stuff that I do. And we can talk more about that. So that's where I'm at right now in my life.
Well, this is interesting. So I'm glad I'm getting a chance to just sit down and talk to you about this. Sometimes, we meet people on different parts of the journey, and all I see is, the health and fitness, the Jody Fit Life. You know what I mean? I always see you out here doing all of these things. I didn't even know you had that moment where you weren't able to work out and you weren't able to do all of those things. And so this is interesting to see how you revived and bounced back from that. That's something that we, sometimes we just see the end product sometimes, and sometimes we don't, we don't know what someone had to go through to get here. So the other interesting thing is you went to Eastern Michigan and a cheerleader. Really?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Starting in 7th grade, I cheered through middle school, I cheered through high school, to the point where we were very competitive at the time, and I was offered a full ride to U of D as well.
Oh, wow.
But I was like, I kind of wanted to go away, like Eastern's far from where I live.
A little stretch, right?
I was like, I cannot stay home for 4 years and live with my parents. And anyway, so I ended up getting offered a scholarship at Eastern as well. I got offered a scholarship at Hawaii Pacific University.
And you turned it down?
Let me tell you what, I turned it down because, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I have my real last name. That's mean to my husband. My maiden name is Castiglione, and I'm Italian. And my dad's very old-fashioned and traditional, and that was just out of the question, too far. I didn't feel like I was going to be supported
Right.
financially. So you
Okay.
can get to Hawaii, but then you're stuck there forever, which also now doesn't sound bad. But at the time I was scared and young and, just turned 18. So anyway, yeah, I've been involved in athletics and sports and just being physical since I was young.
That
And
is
that
awesome.
is the key though.
Yeah.
Every person who has a body needs to move it. So you find people like, "Oh, I don't really exercise." You're not exempt. Your body needs to move and you need to find something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So people
Yeah.
ask me all the time, "What's the best exercise to do for losing a belly? What's the best?" There's no best. You tell me, like Sherrod, do you like to dance?
No.
Okay. So me telling you to go do a Zumba class is horrible advice.
Not gonna
Horrible.
work. Right.
Right?
Right.
Or maybe do you play basketball?
I love basketball.
Okay, so there's your sport. Now, if I tell you
Okay.
you have to go do basketball drills and this, now you just hit a chord. Now it feels good. It feels right.
Yes.
And that's what movement and activity needs to be for you. If you
Wow.
go get on a treadmill and you hate it, what are the chances you're going to go and get back on it? You need that endorphin. So, like, I do love dancing. I love doing gymnastics. I just like trying new things.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
I want people to know you don't have to get on a treadmill. You don't have to do things you don't enjoy for movement, but you got to
Right.
find something because you do have to move.
That's true.
Have to.
So I definitely want to get this, but I do want to make another point that you said earlier too, and I think you're probably my first celebrity, right, on the podcast in the aspect of you had your own TV show and you
Right.
were, and of course you're on live in the D. How was that experience being on having your own TV program there?
Well, it was like a pinch me moment, and it all
Okay.
happened from being on Live in the D in the green room. I would meet people all the time, and I actually met. He's a movie show plus guy. His name's Greg Russell. He's local.
Okay.
He hosted the Jerry Lewis Telethon a couple times,
Oh,
and
awesome.
he had a bunch of connections at Comcast. And he said, they were just asking me if I knew anybody in health and fitness. So he connected us, and I believe it was God because
Yes.
when you're a believer and you're praying and putting it in God's hands, He's going to move things
Yes.
that you could never. And I told people
Yes.
this: if they had interviewed 1,000 girls for this TV hosting position, I don't think I would have gotten it. I didn't have a history of this, right? This isn't my background. So I just know God opened the right doors, and I ended up getting to produce the show as well, which means I came up with content for the segments. So we
Wow.
would go to a cryo freeze center, and then we would go to a floating therapy where you're floating in thousands of pounds of Epsom salt. We went rock climbing at Planet Rock in Madison Heights. Everything that was in Metro Detroit that's health fitness related, food,
Sure.
we would just kind of explore it. And I would be honest with people. That's one thing, I'm very honest and transparent.
Right.
If a certain thing doesn't taste good, or I didn't enjoy it, or I wasn't good at it,
Yeah.
or I think it's gimmicky, because
Yeah.
there. Oh, please, have you not seen the infomercials for the fitness equipment? Like the booty things, come on, it made the shake weight, like some of that
No.
stuff. Please, no. So I'll be the first person to tell you, that's gimmicky. Don't waste your
Yeah.
money on that thing. Or something that stands the test of time is like a loop exercise band. Maybe just
Yeah.
12 inches wide, the loop. So you can throw that in your bag and travel with it, and it's a great piece of equipment. You get it for $10.
Right. Right.
So
And it works. Yeah.
it works, yeah. But being on TV, because was your original question, I feel like it really was just a bigger platform for me to share health and wellness with more people.
Right.
And actually, and I'm going to speak it out into the atmosphere,
Sure.
I have prayed and asked the Lord to make another opportunity for me to have a large platform, a large audience. And I don't know what it is yet, because TV is not popular anymore. Everything's online, everything's on social.
Sure.
I don't know the path, but I'm not going to tell God how to do his job. What I am going to
Exactly.
say is I am willing and I am open, and I want to share truth with people about food, about activity, and I'm just believing that he's going to open doors for me and give me a bigger platform to do that once again.
Well, Jody, I truly believe that you're destined for that. As you're saying that, you're right. The timing is changing and things are changing a lot. And you have already spoke about your past and how God has literally put you with you doing your, being yourself, being your authentic self, and grinding and doing the things that you do. He's opened doors for you so many times in the past that we
Yeah.
know that there's a platform destined for you to go to. All it is necessary for you to do is just keep doing what you're doing. You're continuing to be a light, is the reason, and that's the reason why we wanted you on this program. You're such a light when you do what you do, and we can tell that you're passionate about it. So my question now is, how did you get this passion? Like, you have a strong like conviction about health and wellness. It's not just it's the trendy thing
Yeah.
to do. All the girls are doing it on IG or anything like this. This is what you do. This is your grind. What is your
It is.
passion? How did you get there?
This is completely my passion because I love watching people transform. I love watching people receive truth and feeling better. And
Yeah.
food is a huge part of this because I believe that the enemy has perverted our food source and what we think we deserve. We deserve a bowl of ice cream and a cookie, and
Yeah.
we're putting poisons into our body. So I've stayed in prayer alongside the Lord to guide me through my journey. And I
Yeah.
think that's how I keep the passion, is because I keep asking him to reveal truth. And I'm getting new truths all the time. And I'll tell you one example. So through my last year when the quarantine started, I became a certified nutritional consultant, and I'm
Okay.
still studying to do the boards, but I now have the
Wow.
title behind my name of
So you
CN.
added that to your way to what you're
Added
doing.
it, right? And
Nice.
I'm still going because there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
I already, and this is not a brag, but it's a wake up call that I have more nutritional training than an MD.
Oh,
They don't
really?
have people go to their doctor and assume that they have nutritional training, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, Tamika Morrow, who you had on the show previously,
Yes.
so much more training than an MD. I
Okay.
can't even tell you. The nutritional
Wow.
training is it's not there. And people assume that when they do go to the doctor, they're going to get great nutrition advice. No, you're not. So honestly, I always suggest you pray, ask the Lord to guide you. So here's one example of learning truth and learning something new. I
Okay.
just recently, you've heard food coloring is bad for you. Food
Yeah.
dye isn't good for you. But really, let's break it down. In a laboratory, chemists take chemicals. These are not foods, and they mix them together to create artificial color. And you see them in the little droppers, right? You might add it to your
Yeah.
cookie dough
Yeah.
or whatever you're making. And when that chemical enters into your body, it is not recognized as a food because it's not a
Wow.
food. No part of it is a food. It's just your immune system attacks it as though it's a virus or a bacteria. It's an invader.
Really?
Can you even believe this? Now, why would the FDA allow this stuff into our food if it's hurting us, if it's damaging us? Because there are so many groups that use this. I almost called it crap right there because I get frustrated. You can see the passions coming
Hey.
out now.
Yeah.
Because people expect cheese to be orange, so all the products have to make it orange to look like cheese.
It's the
There's just
appeal.
there's
Yeah.
too many companies with too much money, and so the FDA is like, it's fine. They can't really prove that it's killing people and this and that, but that causes inflammation in your body. And if you don't know what internal inflammation is, it's your actual vessels are becoming like swollen and damaged, and it takes years
the
and years
food-
to catch. Yeah,
This is
from
the food
artificial
we're
dye.
eating. Wow.
From like, a drink box that's red, a
Yeah.
red juice for a child. It's been linked directly to ADD and ADHD in little ones. So that's why you hear don't give your kids artificial dyes and colors, but they don't really explain why. So I like to take things and make it understandable for you to say, that is not even a food. Your immune system's going to attack it. And over time, now it's not going to be immediate, but
Sure.
over time, it creates disease in your body. So knowledge and truth is power for you to take control and say, I choose not to purchase artificial color because now I know and I don't want to put it in my body. Right?
So yeah, with that being said, what should we be looking for when we're, especially if we're shopping for our little children for lunches? We're trying to make everything convenient. What should we be ordering? What should we be looking at?
That's a great question. So it really goes back to the basics of the less packaged foods, the better.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when a package has a label and there's 1,000 ingredients in it, you got to start wondering, what is this? What are these ingredients? And really, the more you can't pronounce. So when you're shopping for a kid's lunch, you're going to you get some lean turkey breast and you make it into a little roll up with, the healthiest tortilla you can find, which I don't even eat tortillas, but that's a whole nother story. For kids, I think you have to there's some different things. My kids eat different foods than I do. I hear what you're saying. When you're
Yeah.
looking at a juice or a drink, get something that has no artificial color in it, low
Right.
amount of sugar. I'm not saying no sugar because kids may not drink it, but
Sure.
the less processed, the better it is. And there are brands out there that make, for example, Gatorade, super popular sports drink, right?
Right.
Not only does it have artificial colors in it, but it has sucralose, which is Splenda, an artificial sweetener.
Oh.
So I recommend people to use Body Armor. And Kobe used to be a big
He
spokesperson.
was,
I was
yeah.
very good friends with the Body Armor rep in the Detroit area. They use beet juice to turn it pink. They use turmeric to make it yellow. So they don't use artificial colors. And they also have coconut water in there. And it's just a better alternative. And they have a Body Armor Light. I don't even, it sounds like I'm doing a commercial for the company, but I'm just trying to share information.
Sure.
They sell it now at Target because first when I found out about this product, you really couldn't get it anywhere. I'm going to turn my light back on. And you can get it. Sorry. And it's 15 calories for the light version. So it's got way less sugar. It's still colored. It still comes in a cool bottle. It's still, do I have one on the, no, my dog likes to chew on the bottle, so I thought maybe I had one here. But it's just, see, there's an alternative rather than me telling you just drink water only. Right? You got to be realistic.
So realistically, there are alternatives to all of this stuff. It's not like we're trapped in a situation where we have to go through those middle aisles at the grocery store and get all those Cheetos and cornflakes and all of these things. There's
Right?
options for us for that. Well, obviously we can't cover all the nutrition, so we're gonna definitely make sure that people can link to you and follow you. And I'm sure you're all, like, as I follow you, you're always giving out tips and different things like that. But what I do want to shift to, because I'm trying to get it all in, what I do want to shift to is, obviously after this pandemic happened, and I know it's been going on for a while, and so a lot of us have gotten used to this. Some of us were somewhat in our groove for fitness and exercise, and we were doing a little something. But as soon as the pandemic hit, let's just be honest, a lot of us made a decision, we made excuses, we stopped working out, right? Because it was just so easy to stop. Gyms in some cases were closed, things were going on. How do we get back to our rhythm of working out? I picked up the quarantine, weight. How do we get back into it?
I was waiting for you to say quarantine what? Quarantine 15, Sean?
Yeah. Maybe 2025, no.
The COVID 40? What is happening? Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I was shook up by this just like everybody else was. I had been teaching fitness classes and everything stopped. And I also kind of halted my workouts. I didn't stop altogether, but I was doing virtual workouts maybe 2 times a week and they weren't as good. So I took a hiatus also. I hear where you're coming from.
Okay.
Yes, yep. And what I can say to people is you don't have any more excuses now because there is every opportunity to work out anywhere at home on your computer. Now you can go to the gym. You can be in, depending on your comfort level. So you got to find what your comfort level is. What I did is I signed up for a new gym I had never gone to. I ended up teaching a class at the row house and I had never done rowing before.
Oh, wow.
And of course I meet the owner and we become friends and we taught a little dual class there, but I like new different things. You know what?
Yeah.
Why not? If you hate it, don't go back. Most gyms are going to offer free trial the first time. So go in there and I'm going to tell you this. I am a Christian God-fearing woman. I did a pole dancing class last weekend. I know, like what? I vetted it out very carefully.
Okay.
It was not there was not strippers in there. It was women just like me in workout outfits.
Sure.
And I was sore for 3 days. We were doing like pull-ups on it was nothing sexual. Nothing.
So that was a workout into this.
Humble pie. I even told one of the girls, I'm like, I'm probably not going to be sore. I work out all the time. I was serious. Next day, I was like, like I couldn't even move because you're like pulling and holding your knees up. Oh my God. But it wasn't sexual. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I signed up again this Sunday to go back because I'm like, I got to get better than that. That was embarrassing. But
you definitely look like the one that won't let something get you. You're going to definitely
right? Like I'll admit defeat though when I need to admit defeat. But I highly suggest if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I don't even know where to start, grab a friend, go do something like that. You'll laugh. You'll burn calories just by laughing. Okay. Right? If you don't like it, don't go back. But like, get into a gym and just try something. Swallow your pride. Because
Wow.
who cares? Like, what is this about the other people in the class, or is it about you
It's about
and your
so I
health and
can't.
how you
So what you're saying? I can't use the excuse that I don't have a Peloton bike and it's not coming no time soon.
Did you order
No,
one?
no.
Yeah, it's not coming
It's my
anytime
excuse.
soon.
It's my
really
excuse.
My Peloton keeps not getting delivered. I wonder why, because I didn't order it, I guess. That's so funny. No, like, I hate riding a bike for exercise. Indoor
Sure.
cycling, I don't
Uh,
like it. Hurts my butt. And then I feel very trapped in the same spot the whole time. So at
so
least I know I tried it and I don't love it. Like, I've
so
done it a bunch of
you're
times. Like, I
definitely
won't,
not
like,
a stationary person, a stationary
no,
workout
right? Like, I
person.
gotta jump and move, and yeah, that's me. I feel like I need to move around in my space a little bit. But you don't know that until you try it. Because
That's
some
true.
people, like, I have friends that are spinning instructors, and they love spinning. So I've
Yeah.
gone to their events and this and that, and I just know it's not something that's gonna, stir up my fire time after
Right.
time. But like we said, dancing, not your thing, definitely my thing.
Yeah.
Love Zumba, love hip hop, love all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I also like heavy strength training. I
Okay.
like to do that.
Okay.
My
When you say
husband,
heavy strength training, are you talking about really lifting, like really going at it, lifting, or
right?
what?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Like heavy weight days where you do, 5 reps of
Oh
something, and it's
wow.
that,
Okay.
yeah. Because for me, that's what changes my body the most. So
Okay.
I just started getting back into that in January.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 2 days a week of that really heavy, but I found a gym that does classes like that.
Right.
So that's
So
where I
you
go.
so you don't discourage it. I know sometimes women, they don't want to lift too much or look anything like that. Does that is I don't know. But
My
heavyweight
TikTok's letting
training?
me from making all the faces because I have looked. I tell my kids, I'm like, look, I'm mad. Not there. No, I'm not lying. Come on. I'm going to be 48 this year. A little Botox
Wow.
helps me out. It's all good. It's all good. That's funny. But yeah, you show me a woman who started lifting heavy and got huge real fast.
Okay.
Name her. I'm waiting. No. But what you
Well,
can do is look up NPC is the organization that does the bodybuilding and the bikini competitions.
okay.
And these women, even in the bikini division, you'd be shocked at how they're lifting weights. And they
Yeah.
just get smaller. When I lift heavy,
Ah.
like, my arms get smaller and tighter. And
Yeah.
maybe if you flex and get a tan, you look like you're big. But when you see that person in person,
They're
tiny.
tiny. That
They're
is true.
tiny.
That is true.
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 Yeah.
Wow. And
Here's
probably a lot of it.
something.
I'm sorry.
Okay, one thing that is important to understand is that your muscle is really what determines your metabolic rate. Because muscle is what's burning the calories even while you're sleeping. So if you have more muscle on your body, you're going to burn more calories per minute than somebody who doesn't. And so even like the muscle up here, right? Your traps. I always
Sure.
tell women, don't neglect any muscle on your body. Make sure you're doing calf raises. And it doesn't mean they're going to get big because it's very hard to grow a muscle. But if you want your metabolism to move faster, you've got to exercise with strength training, with resistance, and keep your metabolism going.
Okay. So you have to have that kind of incorporated in your lifestyle of some sort,
Yes.
right?
So a Fitbit like this will tell me that my strength training workout, if it could say words, it would be like, that was crap. Because it doesn't think I burned a whole bunch of calories during that time period versus when I'm dancing. But the payout long term is better.
Gotcha.
So don't always just go by what you're burning at the minute. Delayed
Okay.
gratification with your strength training. It really
Gotcha.
matters. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Jody, so let's talk about and you've been doing this for a while, and as you've mentioned a couple of times, you are a woman of faith. How do you incorporate faith in, resisting the urge to be tempted to go outside of your domain, right? Obviously people are getting certain things, and I'm trying to say it in a kind of way here. Certain people are getting certain things. How do you resist that? Being a woman of faith, how do you do that?
Through
If you know what
prayer.
I'm talking about. Through prayer.
Through
Okay.
daily prayer every day, and I wake up and I always thank the Lord for this day, the first thing when I wake up. And depending on where I'm at in my life, I add different things to my prayer. Sometimes I'll ask the Lord to help me crave healthy food today, help me
Ah,
resist XYZ. Every time I work out, I always pray. I say,
Yeah.
Lord, be the strength of my muscles, be the air in my lungs, the inspiration in my
Yeah.
heart, the motivation in my mind. And I ask him
Yeah.
that, especially if I'm teaching a class, because sometimes you really need that inspiration and that motivation.
Yeah.
So, like, why am I going to go out there on my own when I could have the support of the Lord? He just waits for us to ask. So I feel like people are missing out on one area. If you're really, really overweight, this might not be something you can do on your own. And you don't have to. God's right there. You can do all things through Christ. All. That
Not
includes
some.
literally anything you could ask, anything you could think. So if your weight is part of that, it's not just about how you look and feel, but it's about your health. It's
Yeah.
about staying in this world long enough to complete that mission and that destiny and what God has you for. And this happens to be the vessel that He chose for you. And
Yeah.
you have, right, your body is a temple of the Lord. It is, and it tells us that in the Bible. So I try to honor the Lord with my body, and we get off track, just like with
Sure.
anything else. I feel
Sure.
like going to church on Sunday is a way to rekindle your faith. Because
Yeah.
there's always that moment that we all have as much as
Oh,
believer where you're like,
yeah.
your faith's just a little like, oh, my faith's soft today. That happens with anything. If you get far away from anything, you're going to start to lose your faith. So your fitness track, if it's going real off track, bring the Lord into it, man. I tell people.
Yeah.
Here's a really cool example. So after learning about super, super healthy foods, you know how healthy salmon is, right?
Yeah.
It's got
Well,
high
is it
levels of
healthy?
omega-3. You like salmon?
Okay. I do. Is it healthy? Is it okay?
Oh my gosh. It's
Don't
one
take it
of
away.
for omega-3s, it's pretty much the best food that you can eat. And omega-3s, your brain is made out of fat. It's the healthiest fat, like avocados. It's very good for you.
Sure.
I've hated salmon my whole entire life. And probably like 10 years ago, I started praying. I was like, Lord, I hate salmon, but you created it and you know it's good for me. So I'm asking you right now to help me like salmon and to give me a desire to like salmon. And I kept praying
Right.
that, which is funny.
Yeah.
Why would you pray to like something you hate, right? But I just knew it was such a good food. And one day at a restaurant, I got my faith up and I ordered it, knowing I hated salmon. And
You
my
said you
husband
got your
kinda like,
faith up.
and I'm telling you what, Sherrod, I love salmon now. I love it.
Ah, wow.
It's one of those things I'm like, even God can do something like that, which might seem trivial or silly to
Sure.
someone.
Sure.
But I figured, hey, if it wasn't good for me, God would have been like, no, I'm probably not going to answer that prayer. It's cool. It's just, I think
So
something
what-
like that is.
With that being said, on the other side, is there anything that tempts you? You know, I mean, I know you've been doing this for quite a while, but is it Snicker bars? Is it? Is there anything
You know,
need
as a
help?
woman, it is definitely a monthly thing where I know all of a sudden I'm like, oh boy, here comes the feeling. I don't totally resist it. I
Sure.
will indulge in some chocolate.
Okay.
Nutella. Do you know what that is?
No.
Nutella. It's like a liquid
That sounds healthy.
hazelnut.
Is that healthy? Is that healthy?
No, it's not healthy. It's made with hazelnuts, and it's like a peanut butter, but with chocolatey
Oh, okay.
hazelnuts.
Okay. Is
So
that
anyway-
a Heath bar? Is that like Snicker bar? Is that no? Okay.
No, but like it's from Europe. You fancy. But anyway, I'll let myself have some of that if I'm really like feeling that way and I'm going to lose it. But usually after I do let myself indulge, that lasts me a while, either because I feel sick after I eat it and I'm like, oh, I should have done that. That teaches you your lesson. Or it was just so sugary that I'm like, oh, I don't want that anymore. But yeah,
Right.
I think it's unrealistic to always resist an urge. But what I tell people is don't just go and grab cookies unless you really, really want those cookies and you don't feel like you have the willpower to resist.
Right.
And there's
Okay.
moments like other moments it's like, I don't really want that. Or if it's like not a blow, but we'll say grocery store cake.
Okay.
Don't waste your dessert and calories. Like, wait until someone
Right.
makes a homemade tiramisu or like a peach cobbler from scratch and have a piece of that. Right?
Right.
Make it count. Make it count.
Somebody you know who put some effort into it. Right.
Yeah, and then it's worth it. It's worth having that cheat
Sure.
because, yeah, like don't eat those Kroger cookies. You know they're
Yeah.
bad. Why are you eating those? Why?
Don't do that to yourself.
Even you're mad at
Right.
yourself later. You're like, why did I eat? That's funny.
Wow, Jody. Well, Jody, this has been a wonderful conversation. I know, your time is limited here. I know you've got to get to the next exercise or the next gig here per se.
know it.
But truly have enjoyed our conversation. But before we leave, is there any, I don't know if you watch TV or not, but is there any recommended TV program that you recommend to our audience that they should be watching these days? Or is there anything else that you recommend that people should be doing, like something fun outside of fitness and eating
Yeah,
healthy?
not health and fitness. Here's what I can tell you. TV time at my house is family time. I have two teenage
Awesome.
boys, and
Awesome.
we watch TV all together, and they're really huge fans of Marvel. So right now we're watching the WandaVision. I don't know, are you a
Awesome.
Marvel fan?
Not at all. Can't keep up. My wife is, but I can't keep up.
Yeah, I wear the geek label because I love my kids, so I know everything
Sure.
about all the Avengers movies and all that stuff. But that's
Yeah.
okay. The Mandalorian is the other one. Are you a Star Wars fan? Probably not, because you are?
I will. Well, I will watch it. It's entertainment, but I don't get into it too far. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
My son got me this for my birthday. This
That's
is
so
the
cool.
child from the
That's so
Mandalorian. Isn't it cute?
cool. Wow.
Yeah. So I enjoy TV, and
Yeah.
whenever the boys get to a point where they're gonna watch something that makes me uncomfortable, I'm out of there.
Gotcha.
Like, Mom's taking a bath. So
So you're in there
But
with all
yeah.
the boys and the guys there.
yeah, like they watched some kind of samurai type of movie the other night with subtitles. It was so bloody, and I can't watch that kind of stuff. I feel like men have all that testosterone, but yeah, I like making TV a social thing. So I wish I could recommend more shows, but
that's
I
good.
don't have like shows that I binge or anything like that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So you no Netflix shows that we need to be watching. Got it.
I mean, I don't have any recommendations on that. We watch a lot of movies, though. A lot of
Okay.
movies. Yeah.
That's cool. All right. So before we get out of here, Jody, what's, obviously I know people are going to want to keep up with you. Again, we weren't able to share all of your, all the hacks and the different things that we could do on this short program. So we're going to have to sometime bring you back here sometime and talk again if you don't mind. But how can someone go about following you or connecting with you or getting more information about you? I know we can see you on Live in the D, but what other options do they have?
Yeah, probably the best thing is just to go to my Instagram, which is Jody's Fit Life, Jody.
Awesome.
Jody's Fit Life, and you can message me there. Viewers from Live in the D are always messaging me on Facebook or on Instagram, and I'm happy to help you and answer questions because, like you said, you can only share so much at a time. But I do kind of dub myself as the healthy snack detective too.
Yeah.
So when I find a snack that I feel like meets the criteria for being healthy, I'll post that because it's kind of nice to every now and then you do want something crunchy out of a package that's not
Sure,
a carrot, right?
Sure.
Right? So I do post healthy snacks all the time, and I think people really appreciate having those options.
Some good stuff, right? You post good stuff, right?
Nutella, what?
I'm gonna have to try that. I've never tried it, so I can't knock it unless I tried it. But
I cannot believe you. Oh my gosh. No, you might be mad at me then if you like it because it's really bad for you.
Oh,
It's really
man.
high fat and high sugar. It's terrible.
It's got to
Bad.
be an alternative to the Snicker. But
Yeah. Snickers is good. I'm not going to lie. Don't you feel like the Halloween Snickers are getting smaller and smaller? I'm like, what is this?
And then you eat more because it's little. You're like,
I know
hey,
you're like,
if
well, I
eat
guess I
two,
can have
three-
5 now. 'Cause you're like- yeah, I don't know. But
Let me stop before I tell all of my badness.
that's funny.
But once again, definitely, if you guys want to follow Jody, definitely you must. Actually, matter of fact, it's a mandate that you go out and follow her. You will be definitely encouraged to work out. You'll be definitely encouraged to eat kind of right. You know, you have to follow her because she'll tell you if it's good or not before you taste it. But definitely keep up with her. Follow her on Live in the D. It's definitely been a pleasure, Jody, today, just talking to you. Thank you for accepting this opportunity and to be with us. I appreciate that. And it was, like I said, I think our first celebrity here on the program. But we definitely appreciate
take
it.
it.
Definitely.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot more laughs than I expected. It was great. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
We got a
Well,
little
you know,
workout.
unfortunately, I'm not a professional in the health and wellness, so I can't give you any hard questions.
That's all. So I can't sit.
Well, To everyone else, this has definitely been a great conversation. We hope that you continue to like, share. If you heard anything in this conversation, please share this conversation. Please comment and let everybody know about Behind the Grind podcast. Until the next time, this is Sherrod on Behind the Grind.